how to have the best night sleep ever. Even if you work shift work and your night is actually during the daytime. Did you get what I said? Shift workers can still have great nights and wonderful mornings. The 3-2-1 is what will elevate your mornings and supersize your sleep and help you wind down in your evening time. What is evening time? Evening time is when the sun goes down. But for some of us, our evening time is when the sun is up. So let's get it clear. Whatever your evening is determined by you. And whatever your morning is determined by you. So don't ask questions about, is it working for this morning? Or no. Assume whatever your morning is. Assume whatever your evening is. We get that clear? Let's get that out of the road. What we're talking about is whenever your morning is, it starts the night before. It starts with your bedtime. So your bedtime is your evening. Your bedtime is your evening. That was my watch telling me it's 10%. I got to charge it. So one of my mentors talks about the 3-2-1, and it works perfect, like perfect, especially when your night is the real night and your days are the real days. But for those of us that do shift work, like for instance, I still work 24-hour shifts and I still work at night. So my morning time is usually my night and my night time is usually my morning. The thing to determine is to get an energetic morning and to wind down at night. The 3-2-1 countdown has you have one decision first. What is the sleep time? Let us assume, like for me, I came back from work, it was 10:30 in the morning, and I determined, wow, 10:30 in the morning, I can't sleep just yet. I'm going to go to bed at 2 because I have the rest of the day. So if I'm going to go to bed at 2 p.m., it means my 0 is 2 p.m., my 1 is 1 p.m., my 2 is 12 noon, and my 3 hours is 11. You got that? Okay. So what I did, I made sure I quickly had something to eat between 10:30 and 11. Because 3 hours before bedtime, no food. The reason is, it takes approximately 3 hours for digestion to be in full force. So when I eat, or when you eat and go straight to bed, it doesn't make for easy digestion. So 3 hours before you go to bed, don't eat anything. Just complete the eating process. And your body will be glad for it. You will not have refluxing, where you have already eaten and you go and lay down and stuff comes back the opposite direction. Your sleep will be sweet because the food is well digested. If you eat and stop eating 3 hours before you lay down to go to sleep at night. So that is the 3 hours before, which is step 1. You get it? 3 hours before is step 1. Now step 2 is 2 hours before, which is easy. For those of us that love to work and have computers or actually work from home, 2 hours before you go to bed. No more working, no more business. It's time to chillax, relax. See, I think of relaxing as this. When you spend all day working, you input, output, input, output, input, output. It's like your brain is a file cabinet. And in the file cabinet are different files. If you file stuff correctly, when you need them, all you have to do is go to the appropriate file and get it out, right? However, If you misfile or you never filed, you have a pile and cannot figure out the beginning and end of the pile. So the reason why 2 hours before you go to bed, you don't do any work is to allow the work to be put in categories and to be stored correctly in your brain. To allow your brain some space to do the storing and the filing. Because I can tell you this, if you don't file things away or put them away, your sleep will be filled with all the stuff that you were doing right before bedtime. That is true. Have you experienced that? I have. And that's why I am very particular. 2 hours before I go to bed, no work, no discussing about work, no trying to figure out strategy, no, just relaxing. 1 hour before going to bed. That is step 3. No screens. I can tell you this with honesty. This is a little difficult for me because I do everything on my phone. But I have found on the days that I have no screen before I go to bed, including the screen on my watch, I am well rested. No TV, no emails, nothing. Just reading a book or listening to music or doing some tapping. Just things that would just disconnect from electronics. What it does, it settles the brainwaves, because did you know every screen has electronic waves that they're hitting you, they're hitting your mind, they're hitting your brain, they're hitting you. So it is so important to have a solid 3, 2, 1 countdown every evening so that your morning you wake up energetic. This is a good practice to have, I'm telling you. And I can tell you, it's one of those things, those hacks in life that doesn't really cost you any money. It doesn't cost you time. It actually amplifies your time. Because when you know your bedtime is a certain time and you have your 3 to 1 practice, it is kind of hard to schedule a meeting 3 hours before sleep, or 2 hours before sleep, or 1 hour before sleep. And it allows you to determine what? If I don't have a bedtime, I can't tell the last time I'm supposed to eat. I can't tell the last time I'm supposed to have the screen on. Very important. I'm not saying it because I'm perfect in it. Oh no. Even as I'm doing this video, I'm laughing at myself because I have to practice my 3 to 1. It is my 3 to 1 that will allow me to sleep well tonight. So as I end this video, I want to ask you, are you worth it to have a good night rest so that you wake up energetic in the morning? Or you want to continue with the same old, waking up in the morning tired as heck because you didn't wind down the night before and all through your sleep you were restless? That's a question for you to answer. But I've given you a simple hack. 3 to 1 countdown is an evening routine that works. Pick one of it and implement today. Do it for the next 7 days and see how it works, and then pick another one. I will start with step 1. That one is the greatest one ever. Eating and making sure you stop eating 3 hours before sleep. That is a game changer. I promise you that. I mean, like, for real. If you're not going to do any one, the one you absolutely have to do is 3 hours before sleep, no food. Wow. That's the 3 to 1 routine. This is so simple, and yet it's so difficult. It is difficult because things will come at you and try to disrupt you. But it is for you to determine you are that important. Because I know if you had an important meeting 3 hours before bedtime, You will make sure you are ready. You will make sure you're on time. You will make sure you make it happen. So, like I told myself, Falake, girlfriend, you got to prioritize yourself. Seriously, prioritize yourself, girlfriend. 3 hours before sleep, no food. Capiche? Understand? That's why I can authentically tell you 3 hours before sleep, no food. And on the days I break it, I pay a high price. Join me in the 3-2-1 evening countdown. See you later. Oh, subscribe and share.